here and get my, I don't know what I just did, but it was not okay. I gotta get my comments up. You think I've done this enough times I could figure stuff out, but can't. Alrighty-roo. Okay, hi Shelly. Florida, Florida. Ugh. I gotta get too crazy or my lighting will start changing. Okay, Maxie, hi Maxie. Hi Tracy. Tracy, is it snowing over there in Ohio? Because you know I'm only one state away, not even a full state. Alright, let me fix my light. I feel like my light is getting a little crazed. Just cold. Oh my gosh, it's so cold. But I have to have my fan on because when I'm in here with all these lights, I get so hot. But yeah, we got so many fun things happening tonight. I'm so excited. Hi, Carol. Hi, Jen. I'm going to put a little something in the chat. Hi, Kimberly. I got a lot planned for tonight. And, all right, so let's do a little housekeeping stuff and talk about what we're going to talk about and let you know what's going to go on tonight. I'm actually doing another live on Friday, just so you know, because if you were on my community tab, I put up a couple topics and people could vote. And the one that was voted for was to fix like a wig that maybe is messed up, or, hi Maeve! We're just talking about what we're going to be talking about. So on Friday, I'm going to be doing a live. I have 2 wigs. I might have another one that like have some issues, whether they're worn out or messed up or whatever, and we're going to try to fix them together and try some techniques. So I wanted to do that Friday just in case. I don't know how long that's going to take. I have my bubbly, my favorite one, grapefruit, and I still got a little cough, so I need to have a little bit of a bubbly. What else do we want to talk about? The other thing that we want to talk about is, so a while ago I asked you if you, to share like your assumptions about me. So I have the whole list here. This is everything that was shared. So what I feel like we should do is we'll go through this, but I actually have a wig that I want to try to put on. So I'll put it on sort of like a get ready with me, and also I'll answer your questions. And also if you have any questions, put them in the chat and I'll answer those. But before we get started, let's talk about what's on me face. So on my lips, I don't know if you've ever tried these. These are the Lime Crime. Lime Crime? Yeah. These are the Lime Crime, and they're called the Plushies. And first of all, they smell amazing. I mean, really, they smell like, oh, just like a, I don't even want to say vanilla. It's a sweet candy, but not like overpowering. This is in the shade, okay, I'm gonna have to get my glasses. This is in the shade, what shade is it? It's a really light colored cap. It's in the shade chocolate something. Chocolate milk. So it's in the shade chocolate milk. And what I love about these is they're so light, but they dry down completely. Look. Nothing there at all. They literally dry all the way down, but they're not tight like a liquid lipstick. And when they go on, see, they go on like this. They go on almost like a gloss. But I'll touch this. It'll dry down, and it just gives this like beautiful color, but like you can touch your lips and everything. And since they go in like a gloss, they are really contour. So you can do, you know, all your blending in and make sure that it's in the right spot. And they also layer, so you can put it on top of another layer once it's dry. So I wanted to share that. That's what I'm wearing on my lips. And on my face, or on my face, on my eyes, I'm still playing with this Beauty Bay Wilderness palette. We talked about this, I think, the last live. I think this is like $20. And I'm wearing shades from this, these three. 1, 2, 3, and then this one and this one. So that's what I have on my eyes. Okay, that stuff's out of the way. Next, I'm going to do a video on this, but this is for Maeve. I'm going to do a video on this, but I have been doing this new brow technique and I'm obsessed. And so I've been using this ColourPop, I don't know if I can, it's the ColourPop Tinted Feather Effects Styling Wax. And I have it in the shade, I think it's just brown. And it kind of looks gross right now, but this is what it looks like. And the wax can get kind of dry, but if you put water in it, it's like amazing. And it comes, well, you can buy this brush with it. So basically it's like soap brows, but you rub this in here, and then I go ahead and push all my stuff up, and like, see, they're not moving at all. And hi, Teresa. Hi, from Oregon. Is that's Pacific Standard Time, right? Right? I think so. But I use these and I push all of the hair that I actually have, because I don't have a ton of natural brow hair. And then I go in with the Precisely My Brow and also this LA Girl Slim Shady Brow Pencil. And I just basically make strokes. And so if you can see, there's almost like 2 separate colors, because I like to multicolor my brows. I know, right, Jen? Listen, I love me some ColourPop, and sometimes it'll suck you in and before you know it, you're buying all kind of stuff that you haven't even used yet. But then, because, you know, the wax will dry, and so sometimes you can't put a pencil over top of it, I actually am using their Feather Effect Brow Pen, which is like this. And that goes over that wax so easily, just to do these, like, here, let me do it right here. These little strokes, so you can fill it in. And it dries down. So this is what I'm using right now. Maeve had asked me about it. I'll do a separate video, but I just wanted to say, I know, right, Slim Shady. Okay, LA girl, but this brow pencil is like $3.99 or $4.99, which I absolutely love. And the Precisely My Brow is like $20. So, I mean, okay. All right, and last but not least, before we start getting into all this, I do have some PR to unbox. I'm going to do a separate video, but I had it sitting here, and it's like, I want to get stuff out of my way so I can get all these videos out for you. If you don't know, I'm doing winter wig coaching right now, so I upload every single day in December. Plus, I'll be doing these lives, so you have a lot of me, whether you want to or not. I mean, I hope you want to. If you want to, subscribe, and then you will know. But if you saw, I had worked with a company before called Nail Addict, and this is like a gel nail. And this color is the one I used before. They gift me a bunch of nail polishes, and then I try them. This was in the color You're a Beauty, and it's sort of this like pumpkin. Yay! Jen became a member. Can we welcome her? I'm crazy busy. I am crazy busy, but I have ADHD. Let's welcome Jen as an official doll baby. That's the other thing. When you, oh, thank you, Teresa. When you become a channel member, you will get additional content. And I'll be adding about 3 or 4 videos this week. So, hi, Alexis. So you'll get some additional content. Anywho, back to this. So this Nail Addict, I exclusively use like Kiss press-on nails and Kiss glue-on nails, but I'll try to get close enough. My nails, like, if you use glue-on nails, you should take a break in between, and I wasn't doing that, and so my nails were on the struggle bus, so I haven't been wearing them. So I think I'm going to do the gel polish before I go back to the glue-on nails. So I had got the polishes and then this like mini UV light thing, because you got to use UV light. And so they sent me some more to try out. So I'm going to show you the polishes, and then you can tell me in the chat which color I should do. So it comes in this really nice, like, hefty box. and this stuff. Listen, let me get my garbage bag right now before I start getting stuff, because my cat will try to eat this and it'll be a whole big thing. You know how Kit Kat rolls. So here's all the polishes in here, and so I'll link below the video I did about the other polishes. But the one thing that I did is I didn't have like their base coat or their top coat. I just got one from Walmart, and I kind of feel like potentially that's part of what I did wrong. So this time when they asked me which ones I wanted to try, I got their base coat, which like isn't fun to look at. I got the top coat, and then there's like a, yeah, like a remover, okay? So the only two shades I have are these. So you can choose what shade you would like me to try. So I got this shade, and this is called Celtic Sparkle, and it looks brown, but it's like a chocolate brown, but it does have a sparkle in it, which isn't going to show up, but it is sort of this like chocolatey brown color with just a little bit of shimmer in, like a taupey shimmer. And then I also got Winter is Coming, which is sort of like a periwinkle situation. So let me know if you think I should do the Celtic, the brown one, then go ahead and put something that's brown. Something that's brown. Any emoji that's brown in the chat. If you think I should do this periwinkle sort of light colored one, then do anything that's blue. So brown for brown, blue for blue. Okay. Alright, so we got that out of the way. Alright, that's all the housekeeping stuff. So I'm going to start with my assumptions. These were I was so excited to do this. I've been wanting to do this. I love the emojis. I can't. I've been wanting to do this assumption video for a long time. So I'll get to these questions. But if you saw my other live about Motown Tress and Bishi, oh, you had to leave the dogs out. Oh, so we're voting on which polish that I want to put on my nails, this gel polish. It's Celtic Sparkle, you put a brown colored emoji, or Winter is Coming and you put a blue colored emoji. That's what we're doing that. Alright, so I got this Rachel that I fell in love with, and then I bought multiple colors of it, and I'm going to do regular review, but I want to try to put at least one on, and I thought, well, I could do it, like, you know, with you guys, and then I can have comparison colors and stuff. But I've been dying to try Rachel, so an excuse is like, I'm going to put it on with you guys right now, because I want to. I'll link the video where I talk about her and all the deets, but this is Motown Tress Rachel, and I have her in the color F4/27 Frost, and I don't know exactly where I got her because it's not right on the package, but she was in that $20 mark. Okay, so the first assumption about me, funny, creative, and enjoy what you do. I would categorize myself as a creative person. I'm more creative in ideas than I am doing stuff that I should be doing when I should be doing it. I like to think that I'm funny. Funny's kind of my thing. So for me, being funny and being around people that are funny are like really important. And enjoy what I do. I really love YouTube. Like, I'm kind of obsessed with YouTube. I love it. I enjoy my job. I really do. I love my job. I do instructional design, so a lot of what I do for YouTube, I do in my job too, so that's nice. So yeah, I guess I do love what I do. I do love what I do. Alright, so we're going to put this wig cap on. I don't wear a wig cap all that often, but we're going to do it today. And then I'm not going to bother on a wig grip. I'm not going anywhere. So this is Miss Rachel. You can see the lace. I'll cut the lace while I'm wearing it so you can see. She has 2 combs in the front, comb in the back, adjustable straps. To style her, I'm going to use this Turvalix. I did a review on this. It's a hot comb, and I'm like very obsessed with this. So I'm going to use this. So I'm going to get that going. All right, the next question. If you have any questions too, down in the chat, you can put that in there. The next assumption someone had of me is that you tend to see through people easily. Hi, doll. Hi. Yeah, I think I do. So I have a master's degree in, I have a degree in applied behavioral science and a master's degree in psychology, and I was a therapist for a little while. So I think that I can like see through people easily. I try to be careful because I think people like give assumptions all the time. Seriously, this chick is like the love of my life already. I'm careful because I feel like people are really, really, really complex. So, I try not to jump to too many conclusions, but for the most part, I do feel like I see through people, and usually I'm right, but I've been proven wrong, and I'm okay to say that. All right, so I'm actually just going to pull this hair back so I can cut this lace. Was that your question, Maeve? Is that why you're saying it was a great question? Okay, it says, I assume you're a go-getter that doesn't like to ask for help, but helps others when you can. I would say I don't have an issue asking for help. I'm an only child, and so, oh, okay. I didn't put anybody's name in terms of like who asked what question, just because I never know if people are okay with me saying that. So I don't like to do that just because I don't want to disrespect anybody. But I'm a go-getter for the things that I want to get, if that makes sense. So I've always been a person where I'd work a job and make less money than I can make based on my education and my experience if I'm happy in that job. So for me to like make more money, if I'm miserable, that's just not okay for me. Like I can't, you know, those people that go to their work, they grind, they make all this money, you know, they're bitter the whole time they're at work, but they're okay with that. Like that's not me. So I have to like what I'm doing, and I don't mind making less. So in terms of like go-getter, if you mean like in that way, but if there's something I want to do, I put like 150% into it. I've owned 2 of my own businesses in the past, and you know, doing YouTube is essentially, you know, being a content creator is sort of like an entrepreneur. I have so many goals and so many plans for not only this channel, but where I'm going to take, you know, this wig thing. I mean, I have some really exciting things that are going to be coming up in 2022. So I love what I do, but yeah, I also want to make money doing this. And I know some people get like so weirded out by that, which I'm not quite sure why. I can have integrity as a reviewer and as a content creator and also want to make money, because this costs money. You know, the products cost money for me to do, the time, the editing, you know, all of that. And side note, nobody's asked me, but my goal is to have this job be like, I don't ever feel like I'm going to quit my job, my regular job, for the regular paycheck and the insurance and the 401k and the coworkers and things. But I do feel like this, my goal for my YouTube and my whole wig coaching and my plans, my goal is to, you know, sort of have it be for retirement, have it be to, you know, like help my son if he needs it to like buy a house, or, you know, for those types of things. So to supplement my life. I have been married and I was divorced about 5 years ago. I think 5 years ago. And unfortunately it sort of wiped out all like my savings, my 401k, it wiped out everything I had. So I essentially was starting over in my 40s. So this is like a way to, you know, sort of catch back up and get a little further on down the road. Okay. All right, let me answer some questions from the chat. Someone says, how do you discipline your son? What advice would you give us single mothers? How do I discipline my son? I'm gonna be really honest, I lucked out. My son isn't, he's only caused me issues like in the last couple, not even issues, I wouldn't even say that. I'm so spoiled because my son's been fairly compliant, but I started at a very young age. And I've had a lot of conversations with him, but sometimes with kids, it's like just their demeanor. Like, we all have a demeanor. We all have a personality. And sometimes as parents, we can clash with our kids in terms of our personality or what have you. In general, my son has been fairly compliant, so I haven't had issues. I was, strict for a long time, but now I actually want him to do more things, and now he's 17, and he's also like 6'3.5". So at this point, it's more giving him the lessons as opposed to discipline. It's kind of like, okay, you're making these choices, make the choices, but like, for instance, if you make the choice not to do your work, and then you're struggling at the end of the term, that's your choice. You can't then put that on other people. So right now in my parenting, I'm really focusing on trying to get him to understand choices and consequences and things and make those decisions, because, he'll be 18 next year and he's going to be going into the military, and I'm not going to be able to be right with him. So right now I'm more focusing on, do you have the tools to make a good choice? Oh no. Guess we'll find out. But in general, he isn't really that bad of a kid. So I haven't had to do a ton of disciplining. And he was similar to me. So my son's an only child, and so is I. He's similar to me. So like, if I take something away from him, he'll just find something else to do. I was the same way. My mom would be like, oh, you're grounded. I'm like, okay. I spend most of my time with myself anyway, so who cares? So that was probably the biggest challenge, is you have to find your kids' currency, what is going to motivate them. And that could be motivating in they can earn stuff, or motivating in they can lose stuff. Different kids are different. But with him, it's really hard to find his currency, because he's like, oh, I can't play my video games. All right, I'll do something else. So, I don't even know if I answered the question, but I tried. Next question was, nothing worse than hating your job. You spend most of your waking hours. True story. Luckily, I work for a job where my full-time hours are 35 hours a week, which is what allows me to do YouTube so much. So I'm grateful for that. But, you spend a lot of time at work. So Olivia says, this isn't really an assumption, but do people think you're mixed off the bat, or do they tend to put you in one category or the other when they meet you? That's a really good question. So I grew up in a Polish Catholic family, a white family. I do not know my dad that well. I do not know his family that well. I wasn't raised by them. I was raised in a very small area. There was not a lot of diversity. So that's just sort of the background of that. So growing up, people often knew something was different because I looked so different. My mom is the youngest of 13, and out of those 13 kids, only 2 of them had only child, and the other ones had multiple kids, and they all sort of look alike, so I stuck out because I didn't really look like them. Weirdly enough, I look more like my mom now than I did as a kid. I didn't look anything like her at all. So I think people always knew that I wasn't like them because I didn't look like them. Now, when I went to college and when I moved away, people more thought I was white. Like, when I started YouTube, I never, I'm 44, but I started YouTube, I think I was 41. My race was never such a contention. Like, I was always different. I knew I was biracial, and people openly would say things to me, because when you grow up in like a white atmosphere, I don't know what it is, at least when I was growing up. So we're not going to talk about climate now and all that kind of stuff, but growing up, it was not unusual for my own family members to use derogatory terms, to use the N-word, to use these things, and they never even put it together that was offensive to me, or that should be, or they shouldn't say it. But coming on YouTube, people, and I don't know if it's that whole like blackfishing thing, but people like accuse me of being white and faking being non-white. And I want to be like, okay, I don't know, maybe if you're 20 or something and you're like trying to be on Instagram, I don't really know or understand the blackfishing thing too much. But when you grew up in the 80s, you don't fake being anything. Like I wouldn't purposely make myself biracial. I love being biracial. I embrace it. But it wasn't easy. So it's not something like I would choose to do on purpose. So to fake being non-white is the most ridiculous thing to me. And I think it maybe is a generational thing. But I still have people who argue with me. They're like, you know, what do you know, you're stealing from the black culture. I'm like, I'm biracial. What are you talking about? So I think, no, people don't necessarily think I'm mixed off the back, but they do think there's something there. I get European a lot, or I get, you know, maybe even like Polynesian. Some people know that there's something there just because my, you know, features are different, but I'm fairly light, especially in the winter, so they don't go to mixed in terms of like black and white right away. I get a lot of European. I do. I get a lot of European. When I was younger and I had really long, like, curly hair, I went through a phase where I dyed it black. My hair isn't naturally black. And I got Hispanic a lot. And that was also interesting too, because people would speak Spanish to me and I wouldn't know how to speak Spanish, and they'd be so offended because they thought I was like not speaking Spanish on purpose. And I'm like, no, I'm not Hispanic. I don't know Spanish. I'm not like trying to deny my heritage. Like, I don't know what you are saying. So I did learn some things just because people were saying things to me so much and so offended. But yeah, so I hope that answers your question. Another question says, how did you get started doing YouTube videos? I got started doing YouTube videos when I went through my divorce, and I was kind of in a dark place. I had relocated from somewhere I lived for most of my adult life, so I had to like start my career over, start my life over, single, and I lived where I lived since I was 18, so a majority of my adult life I lived somewhere totally different. I moved back home, but it's not the same because I moved away and I was away for 20 years. So I started doing YouTube as a makeup channel, and I thought it was, you know, I wanted to do it because it's like, I'm over 40, I still love makeup. Like, why? You know, I didn't see a lot on YouTube of people that were like me. So I thought, okay, I'll do it as like a fun thing. And I did that for a while. And then when I started doing wigs, my channel grew. So for a whole year, I have like 200 subscribers. Once I started doing wigs, it was a whole nother deal. And so then I just switched primarily to a wig channel, and then that's why you're here, probably. Maybe put that in the chat. Why did you start watching me, or did you watch me back when I was a beauty channel? I know Maeve did, but I'm not sure who else. So, okay, next. Yeah, my son Avery has been in a few of my videos. I've been trying to get him to come on a live, but he's very opinionated right now, which is fun. I love it. I encourage it, but his opinions are not necessarily close to mine, so I haven't convinced him to go on live recently, but we'll see. And it says, what branch of the military is he interested in? First and foremost, he is interested in the Air Force. And oh, Shelly, you came because of Denise. I love Denise. She's so great. All right, before I get crazy, I'm going to go ahead and this is my favorite powder for the part. And this is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro. This is their pressed powder foundation, and this is in Cool Base 10. I absolutely love this. I have videos on it. And then this is the tool I use for the part, and I have a video coming up on this. And this it's actually a makeup brush. They were called like toothbrushes or oval makeup brushes or toothbrush shaped brushes. This was made for eyeliner. See how it's like so skinny? It's meant to like do eyeliner. But I find like, look, it fits in the part so perfectly. Whoa, look at that. I have a link in the description box of where you can get these. They're very inexpensive, but I use that. So I want to put that in the part. I also have one of these oval makeup brushes. This one is a Real Techniques one. I use this, and this one is from Wet n Wild for 99 cents, and I use these along the hairline, and I'm telling you what, favorite. So I'm just going to rub this right along the lace just to blend. Alright, let's see what else we got. It's almost as if because you can pass, they feel you shouldn't be offended. Yeah, I don't know what... Or they're trying to out somebody. If you've ever... I know because of their, you know, as things change and there's like cases in the media, if you've ever heard of Rachel Dolezal, if you haven't, look her up. Very fascinating case. Very, very fascinating. She was a white woman who, you know, she says she's black, like in her soul. Just watch it. There's a whole bunch of documentaries on Rachel Dolezal. But I feel like after her, everybody got like on this thing where like, you're faking this and you're faking that. It's like, honey, I'm in my 40s. I don't have time to fake anything except for maybe, you know, faking my eyebrows. I don't know. Like, I don't have time for any of that. That's just not the generation that I was raised in. It just wasn't. But I just never thought of all the things. When you start a YouTube channel, you have to know that you're going to get negativity. You're absolutely going to get it. It's part of, you know, doing YouTube. I hate it. It stinks. But of all the things I thought I would get negativity about, that was not the thing I thought I would get negativity about. It still surprises me to this day when I get those comments. So I also have certain words and things flagged on comments. So if you put a comment on a video and it doesn't show up right away, it's because it's coming to me to be approved. Because it was starting to get to the point where not only was it just offensive to me, it's offensive to my community. And I don't want, you know, I can't control everybody, but I want this to be a safe space for us to talk about issues like wigs and hair texture and, you know, alopecia and losing your hair and how that can be connected to your beauty and just all of those like topics that are already hard to talk about. And I don't need people saying all kinds of ridiculous negativity. You know, I'm all for people having differing opinions and I won't censor that. But if it's going to start offending people, I don't know what I got in here. If it's going to start offending people, it's just, this is my space. I created it. It needs to be safe. It needs to be as multicultural as possible. It needs to be welcoming. And so I was like, listen, if you don't like me, if you don't want to play by the rules, there's 1 billion other channels. Okay, so I'm just combing through because whenever I unpackage this, you know how I just throw stuff. So I just trying to make sure, because I think I got like some kind of product on this because it's like catching a little bit, but there's something in it, so I want to get that. All right, let's see what else we got to say. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Searching for beginner tips for... Oh, sweet. That's interesting. And Rachel has a YouTube channel? Cereal? Oh, I gotta go check that out. Oh, that's interesting. Do you have a... I do not have a P.O. box, but I am thinking about getting one because some people have been donating wigs to me for certain topics so that I can do the topics for you. And if you do donate wigs to me for whatever reason, you get like a cute like thank you in the mail. And please you don't have to donate anything to me, but like for instance, for Friday's video, some people donated wigs that were worn out because I don't wear mine enough for them to be worn out, but I wanted to be able to show you the techniques. So I did have 2 people donate wigs, and which was amazing, and I sent them thank yous. But I don't have a P.O. box, but I probably should, because I probably shouldn't be giving my address out, but is what it is. The wigs brought you here. All right, so there's no more questions yet in the chat. So let's talk. What is next? What is next? So this person says, I'm a new subscriber and I'm new to the wig world. I don't have any assumptions, but I was wondering how you got into wigs. So I got into wigs because I have alopecia, and I had alopecia for a while before I knew I had it. I found out because I was at the doctor and I was in my 30s, and there's just things about aging people don't explain to you. So I was in the doctor's office for, I don't even know, something, and she commented on my false lashes that I wear and how much she liked them. And I said, yeah, you know, I wear false lashes because, you know, I'm getting older and I'm losing my eyelashes. And she was like, wait, what? And I was only in like my 30s, like, and I think I was in my early 30s. And she's just like, well, that's not a thing. And she's like, if you're losing your lashes, there's a reason. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, look, it has some baby hairs. I think I'm going to comb down these baby hairs. I'm going to use this toothbrush that has like the gel that I normally use to tame my baby hairs. It has like residual, like, it has gel goop on it. But I'm going to use that to comb the baby hairs down. So I'm not going to like lay them down, but I'm just going to bring them down so that they flow freely, but that you can see them. So when I told her that, she's like, yeah, that's not really a thing to just randomly lose your eyelashes. And she's like, 30 isn't old. Like, you shouldn't be having these issues. So long story short, she sent me to a dermatologist. They did determine I had alopecia. I had very long, sort of curly hair, and my hair was very thick, and I started to notice that I could get it up in a ponytail in a way that I couldn't before. Like, it just wasn't as thick. But I think because I had such curly hair, I didn't notice that I was losing it. And so I got treatment for my alopecia for a long time. I would go every single month, and I would get shots like in my actual head, and also a shot in my rump. And it worked, but I was just like, I don't want to get shots in my head like every month, like every single month. Because when I would stop getting the shots, I would, you know, lose my hair again. And when you lose your hair, it's sort of, I'm trying to find some type of, just a little bit of gel, not like a ton. I'm gonna use this. I love this gel. This is called the Eco Professional Styling Gel. It comes in this huge tube. I got it from Walmart for like $4. But it's a wetter gel, so I'm going to use that for these baby hairs. But anywho, where was I at? So I was, okay, so ADHD. So I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stop getting the treatments. And I was really noticing my hair loss. Then I started to do tests to figure out what the hair loss was from, because, you know, sometimes it can be hormonal or from from all these different things. And it took a very long time, but they found out that my hair loss is related to cortisol levels, which is your stress hormone, which is so difficult because it's like, they're like, oh, stop stressing. Well, listen, if I was not stressing, if I knew I could stop stressing about stressing, then I wouldn't stress about like, that's not a thing. And you can make changes in your life, and I did, but so during that time, I decided to cut my hair. So that was the first time I cut my hair off. Like, I took 17 inches off. And I noticed when I cut it that was helpful, but hair loss goes in 3-month cycles. So when you have, and I'm not familiar with other types of alopecia in a way that I can speak intelligently, but I can speak about what my experience is. When you have stress-related hair loss, it can be difficult because your body will express stress, so it lets your hair out, but the growth period is in 3 months. So it's like, at what point in that 3 months, you know, if you intervene, can you stop the cycle? It's really difficult, and I haven't necessarily been able to do that. So I got into wigs because I was fine with my short hair, and I'm fine with even shaving it, you've seen. but I wanted to feel like if I needed to wear wigs, like if I, you know, got to a point where I felt like I needed to wear them for like my self-esteem, which is fine. I wanted to be really proficient with them. I wanted to be really comfortable. I wanted to know as much as I can. And when I started that journey, I was doing my channel, and so I thought I would share, and then it just took off. So now I'm at that point where it's not difficult for me to wear wigs. I don't feel uncomfortable. So I think that my one advice I would give is, if you think you are considering wearing wigs, start playing around with them before you are going to feel like you have to, if that's a possibility, because for some people it's not a possibility. But get comfortable before it's like a necessity for you to do it, because then you can work through, because wearing wigs, I mean, it can be emotional. It can be, it's fun and I love it, but it can be scary at first. It can be emotional. It can be super confusing. So, you know, take the time to go through that cycle if you can. And now I'm like, I'm fine with or without a wig, like whatever. I don't care what wig I'm wearing. But that came with the fact that, I mean, I reviewed like 700 wigs. So I've essentially been wearing, you know, 700 wigs. So it took time. It was probably less time than other people. A, because I'm used to being weird anyway. But B, because I've just had so much experience with so many different type of wigs that I'm cool with it. Like, it's, you know, it doesn't bother me. But there have been times in the past where it has bothered me. But yeah, so I'm just using this toothbrush to sort of like separate these hairs out just a little bit. Then I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to go ahead and put powder right in here. In between where the hairline is and the baby hairs, just to make it look a little bit more natural. Okay, let's see what else we're asking me. You're so lucky I'm not drinking. Do you like plucking wigs? Oh, putting on wigs or plucking them? I don't really pluck my hairline or my part anymore. I just don't. But do I like putting on wigs? Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Was it difficult dating while battling alopecia? Well, when I first found out I had alopecia, I was married. So, but I wouldn't say difficult, but it was a challenge dating when I was wearing wigs regularly, because people got weirded out about it. Like, I had one guy that's like, yeah, I don't, like, you can wear wigs or whatever, but when you're with me, I don't want you to wear them. And I'm like, that's like saying, like, you can't be your personality around me, but you can be your personality when you're not with me. I was just like, that's a part of who I am at this point. You know, I have a wig review channel, so if you don't like me wearing wigs, then I'm not the person for you, and I'm okay saying that. So when I was dating, I met my partner online too, but I was dating online. And I literally put in my profile, first of all, every single profile picture of me, there was one with me without a wig, and then there was one with me with all different types of wigs. I explained that I wear a different wig every day, what I do. And I had to reassure people that it wasn't a catfish, because some people would see me with different wigs and they would think I was like not the same person. But I would explain that if you're not comfortable with this, if this is something you're not comfortable, like, don't swipe, don't message, don't send me a hi or whatever, or a kiss. Don't send me anything, because we just won't be compatible on that level, which is fine if you are uncomfortable with the idea that I wear wigs. I said that from the door before people even messaged me. So I did that because I was just so tired of, I think it's like gel that's in here, of going through that. It's like, don't even message me if this is not, you know, it's kind of like, you know, if you don't want to date someone with kids, then don't message the person that says they have 3 kids. You know, it's just easy. It's easy as that. Look how beautiful this is. I'm in love with Rachel. Love Rachel the wig. Okay. Do you have to work on confidence to wear wigs out, or does it just come naturally? I think for me, it probably came more natural, just because, like I said, the way that I grew up, I was already in that mindset that I'm different. I have to be okay with it. I'm okay with it. I also did like performance in theater since I was like 2. I started twirling baton in a competitive situation when I was little. I've done theater, singing. I sang backup for Barry Manilow. Like, even doing this YouTube thing, I'm very comfortable with that part. So I think that just helped. So I recognize that. Hi, doll. Welcome. I recognize that we're doing assumptions about me and putting on this wig. I recognized that for different people, wearing wigs can be more or less challenging. And that was the other reason why when I started reviewing wigs, I thought, you know, okay, fine, I can review wigs every day, all day, that's fine. But I've always worked for like an educational institution or coaching or therapy in some way. And so I wanted to be like, can I give them something more than just a review? And so that is a goal for my channel. That's why I do so much wig coaching, because I'm kind of like, there's a million channels out there that can show you how to put on a wig. But what about those questions? Like, I have videos on wigs and dating, wigs and sex, like wigs and, you know, whether you can glue them down or not glue them down, or how to make them look natural, or explaining what the color codes mean, like the actual practical side of like, okay, I'm going to wear this wig, but I don't know anything. And I wanted to make sure that everything that I learned, I share with you guys. And that's the point of my channel. So that's why I call myself a wig coach, because it's not just about the review. I need to give you information so that if it takes you longer to gain confidence, you can do that by, you know, we gain confidence by having experience and knowledge. And so as much as I can give you, I will give you. So that's that. I go to breakfast with 3 church ladies each Tuesday, and they're always betting what I'll look like. You wore a pink wig to shock them, but they took it in stride. I know, it's funny because when I first started wearing wigs to work, so when I started at my current job, I had long hair and I cut it all off. And then when I started wearing wigs to work, I would actually film my wig reviews before I went to work. So I essentially wore a different wig every day. In the beginning, people were so flipped out about it. They were so bothered. Then it got to a point where if I came in without a wig, they were like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? What's going on with you?" Now they just they're so used to me wearing wigs that if I don't wear them, they're like bothered by that. Or one time I wore the same wig like 2 days in a row, and they're like, "Are you dating someone? Did you go home last night?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And they're like, "Because you're wearing the same wig." I was like, I'm not walk-a-shaming with my wig. I just really like the wig. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking this hot comb, which I absolutely am obsessed with, this particular hot comb, and I'm just combing sort of this back away from the hairline, so I can give just a little bit of a volume. I'm going to put the powder on, and then she'll be done for me. So that's all I'm doing with this, is sort of giving it some volume, and you'll see how that'll end up. All right. I have so many pink wigs. I have a thing for I have a thing for colored wigs in general, but I love a pink wig. I love a pink wig. All right, so let's go back to this. So it says, let me go back here. You believe in ghosts and have at least one ghost story. Teresa, can I link the one I'm wearing? Yeah, give me a second. So I have like this dichotomy of the whole ghost thing, because I'm a scientist by nature, so some of the whole like afterlife ghost thing, like I'm not really sure honestly how I feel about that. However, I have had experience with ghosts. So if you want, I can do a video or a live or something where I talk about my ghost experiences, because that's like kind of like a whole video. So if you would like me to do a video on my ghost experiences, and maybe like do like a get ready with me, like put on a wig like we're doing now and talk about my ghost experiences, go ahead and put a ghost in the chat. P.S. Let me look at the chat really quick. It looks like the blue color one. So I'll be doing my nails in this color. So I'm going to leave it out. But this is Motown Tress's Rachel that I'm wearing. You've had 3 experiences with serious paranormal. Maybe I'll do a whole video on that because that would take way too long. Let me put down here, live. And I'll call it, let's put on wigs and talk about ghost. And talk ghosts. So, yeah, if you want to see me talk about that, you know, put the ghost emoji. But, so that was that question. Then the person said, you're really more of a dog person, but Kit Kat just won't leave. 150% no. I am not a dog fan. I'm obsessed with animals, especially deer. I love animals. Like, I can't see, like, if I see roadkill, like, I literally lose my mind. Like, I will cry every time, every single time. So I'm an animal lover. I have had dogs that I have absolutely loved. But, and I don't know if this is a personality thing or like a, you know, like a whole, what's the word? You know, only child thing or whatever. Part of the reason I don't like dogs or I don't want to own dogs is because I don't want that responsibility. Like, I can be a very impulsive person. I do have ADHD. So, with cats, like, if I want to be done with work and go do whatever and not come home for hours, like, they're okay. Now, I love my cats and I don't neglect them, but with a dog, like, it's kind of like having a toddler that never grows up because you always have to take it out to the bathroom. You always have to walk it. You always have to find somebody to watch it, and you can't leave it overnight like you can a cat. So I don't want to necessarily own a dog. The dogs that I have owned, I've absolutely loved. I owned 2 Pomeranians with my second husband, and then I owned an American Bully, and I loved those dogs. Loved, loved, loved. But I am a cat person 150 jillion %. And I love Kit Kat. So, alright, I'm going to take this powder and I'm going to go with this flat Wet n Wild brush for 99 cents. I didn't forget about you, Teresa. I will link the wig. Just give me a second. And I'm going to go in here right along where the lace and knots are, and I'm just going to pat the powder in just so that essentially would look like a real hairline where there would be sort of those gaps. Yeah, Maeve, listen, if I was in a different scenario or whatever, I think because I'm a single parent right now, it's like I can't think about taking on that responsibility. Now, when Avery leaves, I might feel differently because I do miss my American Bully, but right now it wouldn't be fair to the dog. Although with the pandemic and stuff, I don't ever leave my house barely anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I've just always had a love affair with cats, always. Okay, let me get, so I'm going to put a link in for this wig really quickly, and I really need a moderator, I think, to be able to do this type of stuff for me. But maybe that's me getting too big for my britches. I'm not that big yet where I need help. Alright, so we're going to put Motown Tress Rachel. So you can get her at a bunch of different places. I'm just going to link Ebony Line because you know what, let me link one that has this color. I think Shop Hair Wigs does. Ebony Line and Shop Hair Wigs come from the same place anyway. Okay, so this color that I'm wearing, which is the F427, it is in stock at Shop Hair Wigs right now, and it is $25.99. So I will... Oh no, it's not in stock. Really? Really? Alright, I'll just have to give you... It was literally just in stock, like... Alright. You can search around for it. If you ask me later, I can do the search for you. But for right now, They have a lot of colors. They just don't necessarily have this one right now, but they do have this color at other places. You'll just have to do the search. So I put it in the chat for you. All right, so ghost story thing, that's on the list. We'll be doing that. And, oh, your cat's name is Twilight. Aw. Okay, awesome. So we will do a ghost story in wig situation, though. Yes, I bought 3 colors of Rachel. I bought 3 colors of Rachel. Once I put them on, they disappear. I wish. Maeve needs to be my moderator. She'd be an amazing moderator, but I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to volunteer you to, like, do work for me. All right, so now that I've put that powder in here along the lace and sort of in these parts where my skin show, I'm going to go ahead and sort of bring this down a little bit so you can see the baby hairs, but yeah, do you see what I mean? I think I might actually do a little bit, I want a little bit more of a flip, so I'm going to go in with my styling comb and just push this back a little bit, and I'm going to take the back edge of the hot comb and just press it right along the hairline ever so gently. See, so I can get that sort of flippy situation. So I'm just going to do that. And then we'll be done with this one. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm like obsessed with this wig. I mean, this might put my Valentino to this might challenge my Valentino. If you know anything about me, you know I'm obsessed with Valentino. All right, let me do a finishing and then we'll see what you guys think about her. I feel like I'm gonna try to flatten the top just a little bit. Okay. Maybe you're volunteering? Oh, sweet. All right, let me look into even how to do that. And then we, message me on Instagram and then we'll talk about it. Because I know I have to do something to do that. So, I can have a moderator. I'm too much. Okay, so that was the ghost thing and the dog thing. No, I am not really a dog person. It's funny because my partner and I sort of argue about whether to get a dog. And I'm like on the full no. Did anybody see what I did with my pen? I don't know. I'll use this marker. Okay, so this person says, you're fiercely independent. Fiercely. I wouldn't say I'm fiercely independent. I'm very independent because I've had to be. But I'd like to be less independent. I'd like someone to, like, you know, my partner is amazing, so don't get me wrong. But in general, it would have been nice, you know, to have, I'm independent because I have to be, and I'm okay being independent, but it's not like a, you know, there's certain people who are like, that they sort of strive on being independent. That's not me. You love your child like nobody's business. Yes. I love my Abby's, like, I just love him. You have an amazing voice, and one of these days we'll do karaoke for us. Not right now. I don't think I mean, I think that I can sing. I mean, I know that I can sing. I have not, you know, singing is just like anything else, and you do need to sort of practice your craft, and because I don't, like, do theater anymore and I don't perform anymore, I feel like my voice could use some work. It has actually changed in pitch quite a bit. It's deepened quite a bit, and so I feel like when I was singing, I was a soprano when I was singing, and so I feel like in order to be, like, a great singer, I would need to work with a vocal coach on, you know, just changing registers and really sort of leaning into this more alto voice that I have now, like your voice changes over time. So the training and the experience I have with singing and using my voice is in just simply a different register that I notice does not necessarily work for me anymore. So I had toyed with the idea of wanting to like get a band together. Like that was pre-pandemic, because I love live music. I love that performing, but I'm not a bad singer. I'm not the best. But I did study it and practice it a lot for a long time. And like I said, I'm definitely out of practice and I need a little something. You're growing your business at a good pace. I don't know. I wish it was growing faster. I'm happy with the pace that I'm growing. I put a lot of time and effort into it, but anybody, I mean, I would like for it to grow faster, but, you know, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth either, but I wish, you know, you are close to your mom. That's actually quite a complicated question. Physically close? I live closer to my mom now than I did for 20 years. My mom and I have a really interesting relationship. I adore my mom. I love her. We are actively working on our relationship now. But for a long time, I was not close to my mom. For a lot of different reasons. A lot to do with me. A lot to do with just factors. But I want to have a close relationship to my mom. Like I said, I am an only child, so it's just me. You know, my parents don't have anyone else. So when I moved back, that was one of my goals, is that I did want to try to work on and repair and build a relationship with my mom at this point in my life. And we are doing that. So I would say I'm much more closer to my mom now than I had been in the past. And I'm making the effort to do that. Because relationships take effort, period. Most importantly, you have a good heart and you care about doing the best job you can. I care about doing the best job I can about the things that I like. Like, my boyfriend and I get into it all the time because, like, there's just certain things, especially because I'm a creative person, so, like, when I want to film or edit videos, like, I'll do that all day. Like, I'll do that from Friday till Sunday. So, like, doing the dishes, or like, I'm not a dirty person, but like, I don't get caught up in like if the dishes are in the sink for a day or if I don't do laundry for a week. He's not like that. So in terms of like, I do a really good job on the things that I love, and the other things, like, I'm okay. I don't know, I guess I've always been in that mindset, like, I'm not gonna be sitting over here stressed and worrying about stuff and not enjoying things. I don't know. Oh, I forgot, you don't have Instagram. Okay. Then just reach out to me. I'll look into it, and then I'll just respond back to one of your comments, Maeve. And we'll just have to chat that way. I assume you live in the USA. Yes, I do. I live in the northeastern part of the United States, and we get a lot of snow here. A lot. I have a lot of snow outside already right now. I jokingly call it the frozen tundra. It is colder longer than it's not cold. But I do live near the water, so when it gets hot, it gets ridiculously hot. Okay. Why? I'm always dancing. All right. With all the ideas, project, and goals you have and complete, this is Maeve, I think this is you. When you close your eyes, maybe not. When you close your eyes at night, it might be hard for you to fall asleep. Everything flowing vividly around in the inside of your head. So I do have a very hard time sleeping. I'm an extremely light sleeper, and I mean extremely light. When I was in high school, in 10th and 11th grade, I had insomnia, and I'd be up all night to the point where, like, my mom had to... we were talking, burning myself. My mom had to, like, talk to the school so that my free period was in the beginning of the day. So I essentially went into school late by arrangement. Because I had insomnia so bad. I have gone through bouts of insomnia, but I'm a very light sleeper. I do have a difficult sleeping. I really do. So working from home was very helpful for that, because if I didn't get sleep, at least I had more time in the morning to kind of sleep in. But I go to bed really early, but that doesn't mean I necessarily sleep. I'm always up at night, always. whether it's for a short time or not. So yeah, I do have a really difficult time sleeping. I cannot use melatonin. I have a very adverse reaction to it, so. Oh, that was your question, Maxie? A couple of assumptions I have is that you're confident and been through a lot in life. I think I've been through a lot in life. I think more than some, but less than other people. Again, I'm sort of a dichotomy. There's certain things that I'm very, very confident in, and then there's certain things that I'm not, especially when it comes to like relationship type stuff. I can have issues, or like at work, if I don't get like, and not constant, but if I don't get reassurance or like positive affirmation, then I assume I'm not doing a good job, which isn't a great mindset to have, but. All right, this is the end result. Let's look at her. Oh my gosh. What do you guys think? Look at how beautiful she is. This is my Harry Potter herbologist shirt. I have a love affair with Harry Potter. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Do you not? I absolutely love it. Like, it would be so cute look to like put up for the day. Love it. And this is all the hair to the front, so it's not it's not a crazy density. Yep. Rachel. Okay. I assume, I feel like this is Liz. I assume someday, when you feel the timing is right, you'll consider selling Tia merch, especially t-shirts and hoodies. When the day comes, I'll be the first in line to purchase. I want to do merch. I want to do merch bad. I already know what like taglines and all that. I just need to get to a point where people would buy the merch. But merch is on my mind. I'll tell you that right now. I feel you keep your circle small and you're a girl's girl, ha ha. My circle is very small. My circle is very small, and I have like a thing that I'm going to do for next year, but next year, because it's like, what, in a couple weeks. Isn't that insane? I tend to have really close, tight, intense friendships where like I only spend time with that person or those two people. I have trust issues a lot, but like, oh, that was your question, Tracy? But my issue is just the fact that like, I think it's been like a positive and negative, because I've had really intense close friendships, but I feel like when they don't go right, or if something happens in our relationship, it causes me to have even more like relationship and trust issues, because I don't have a big circle. I don't feel like you need a big circle, and I also am okay with like compartmentalizing relationships. So I feel like if I'm calling you my friend, that's a very limited group, but I have a lot of acquaintances that I spend time with and I would talk with, but nobody like I would call in the middle of the night or you know, tell like, you know, really deep things to, but I'm fine with being with them and really sharing whatever we're sharing. So like I have acquaintances, like part of the pandemic, like I said, I really love live music. So my cousin is one of my best friends. She's also my cousin, but I would spend all my time with her, and we would go out, and there was like a group of people that was always out. So these were people like if I went to the bar and they were there, I would do things with them, I would talk with them, but they didn't know like my interpersonal woes or anything. I do have some relationships that I want to nurture, and so I just feel like sometimes it's so easy to just like get caught up in life, and you're like, oh, this month went by and this month went by. So I actually have like a list of people that I want to work on the relationship with, and I'm gonna go into my phone and like set timers. So, you know, like if I have someone who I want to cultivate a relationship with, but I don't need to see them all the time, I might like put a timer on my phone, or reoccurring like every 2 weeks, to check in with them or to make a date with them or whatever. Because I feel like sometimes I just get so caught up in life in my head and blah, and I'll think about them, but it's not the right time. So I'm like, listen, I'm at a point in my life with this pandemic and this point in my life that it's going to take effort. And so, you know, I'm going to go through and literally put a year's worth of reminders for people I want to engage with, and so that I make a concerted effort. And then after that year, if things blossom in our friendship and our relationships, great. And if not, then I know at least I tried and I put the effort in. And like I said, having ADHD for so long, I know what my weaknesses are. I know what I need to do. And so it might seem like weird to be like, I'm going to remind myself to text people or to call people or make dates with them. But I have to do that because I want the relationships. And whatever I've been doing isn't working. So, am I a girl's girl? Yes and no. Some of my very close friends have been males. And I tend to be best friends with my partner that I'm with. So, I'm always an advocate, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm a girl's girl. Put in the chat what your definition of girl's girl is, and maybe I can answer that more clearly. Okie doke. Alright, we only have a couple more. You love wigs? What do you think? You love tattoos? Absolutely 100%. I cannot wait to finish my sleeve. It bothers me so much that this isn't done yet that I want to scream. I love my son and I love my cat, and those are the things I love. Absolutely. You're a rare kind of female who is the exact opposite of most females in my experience, that you pretend to be someone's friend and then they stab you in the back every chance they get, or they jump at the chance to break you down. Absolutely not. No, 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 no. I don't play games with that. I don't, lying isn't okay, and, you know, I'm one of those people that, like, I feel like if you have something nice to say, or, like, I don't need to be up here. I don't need to have someone under me to feel up here, if that makes sense. So, like, I'm the person that'll walk up to you in the bar and be like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You are so pretty. Like, I don't feel like there's a limited amount of wonderfulness in the world. So I don't feel like if, and this is what I think you're saying in terms of, and we're generalizing, but sometimes with women, I think we've been conditioned to feel like if you're in a room full of women and someone says, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, then that woman's used up all the beauty. So that means nobody else can be beautiful. And I think that's where that sort of cattiness, like, you know, if this person's smart, then, you know, there's only one person that can be smart or something. I don't believe that. I don't believe that there's this, like, limited amount of awesomeness. So I feel like I can be beautiful and you guys can be beautiful. Maybe not in the same way. Maybe not to everybody, because we all love and see beauty differently. But I don't feel like there's this much beauty. So if someone, if I say this person's beautiful, then I've given all my beauty away to them. Like, I don't believe that. I don't believe in saying that if I think someone's smart or they had a great idea, that means that I don't have great ideas. And I don't know what that is really, but I feel like in our society sometimes it's kind of like, if I tell you you're smart, then that means I'm not smart, and I don't believe in that. So as far as that, no, I'm not like other women in that way at all. And I actually enjoy telling other women how wonderful they are, partially because I don't think we say it enough. And it's okay to tell someone they're wonderful. It's okay to say that we feel wonderful, that we've done something great. I hate that about our society, and especially about women, that we're supposed to be like meek and like never compliment each other or ourselves. Boo. No. No, no, no. You have a terrible tattoo, long story. Oh my gosh. I have so many tattoos. Like, my whole back is covered, my whole arm is covered, my one leg, and I can't stop. I want more. The pandemic really, like, boo with the tattoos. I think friendships in general are difficult to keep because we're so busy. Okay, you definitely the type of person that would be a great friend. I'm a bit ADHD. You're a bit ADHD. No, I'm a lot ADHD. A lot. Except you seem organized and have your together. Yes and no. I can be organized in some ways and be completely disorganized in others. And I've stopped fighting that. In a lot of places that I'm organized, and this is what I try to talk to my son about a lot of places that I'm organized because I know I'm going to not be organized, if that makes sense. So, like, for work, I put a lot of time and effort in getting organized because I know when I have ADHD that I'm going to screw around. Like, I'm going to get diverted. Like, so if I have a project, I know I'm going to end up, you know, getting diverted, getting into the research, finding something else to do, trying techniques. I know that. So I try to be very organized in those ways to leave room for my ADHD time. So like when I was in school, if I had a paper that I knew was due in 3 weeks, I would do as much as possible right away because I knew I was going to end up getting, you know, like squirrel. Like I knew I was going to screw around. I know I'm going to screw around. I know I'm going to get into some kind of project that's going to take my attention away. So I always set myself up to leave space for that so that didn't cause me a lot of anxiety. Am I a neat freak? I have a lot of stuff. But there's certain situations where I don't like clutter. So I like my room and especially like my desk area that I film at to be really neat. I would say I'm tidy, but I'm not a neat freak in the way that I have a habit of doing like, oh, I'm going to redo my closet and literally take every single thing out of my closet and redo it. So for that day or two that everything's all over my bed, I'm okay with it. But I do like to have things in their place simply because, like I said, I get distracted and I don't want to be distracted and late and looking for something. So I try to just set my world up to combat my ADHD. So yeah, but everything to me is like, it does have a place. You're with the wigs the way I am with the tattoos. You want more. Listen, I still order too many wigs too. All right, so that's all these questions. There's just a couple more. You do your homework before you post. A lot of times I really, really try to research what I put up. Yes, I do research what I put up. Now, things can change. You can learn. So you might watch an older video of mine where I'm saying a certain thing, but I do put a lot of time and research into the topics because I do want to give you as much accurate information as possible. And like I said, my degree is a research-based scientific degree, so that's just my nature anyway. And okay, so this is the last one. You're sensitive and empathetic. I would say I'm overly sensitive. I've accepted it, but I would say I'm sensitive to the point where sometimes it's really difficult for me and for people that are around me because I'm a very sensitive person. I'm a very empathetic person, especially when it comes to people who are hurt or animals, like to the point where it's bothersome to me. Like, I've accepted it and I know it, but it is difficult for me sometimes to deal with like other people's emotions because I literally feel like I bring their emotions inside of me. I don't really know how else to explain it, like an empath or whatever. That's why I'm not a therapist anymore because it got to the point where I couldn't leave my therapy work with them. Like if my clients were going through things and they were challenging or I knew things were happening to them, like it was bothering me like every single day. And so I believe that I'm a really great therapist, but it's just not a job I can do anymore. So that's why I like to be in the vein of coaching. So I'm still helping and supporting, but I'm not in a situation where I can't function because I'm so connected. How many weeks is too many? Wow, that's a whole video on that. I mean, I'm a wig coach, so that's different, but I feel like if you can afford it, you enjoy it, you know, you do you. If it's becoming an issue in problematic, whether it's whatever, space or relationship or money-wise, then address it. But outside of that, you know, do what you have to do. We're only here for a short time. And I'm not saying, like, be ridiculous and spend money on things or have too much of stuff just for no reason. But we all have things that we love. We're all different. And if it's something you love and enjoy, you know, like I said, you do you. Like, my mom gave me one piece of advice that I thought was really good. She always said, you can't spend other people's money. And that basically means, like, I can't tell you what's good or not, and you can't tell me what's good or not. And if you do, then people get offended. Oh, thank you, Maeve. Thank you. Oh, look at that little dancing thing. It looks like a pear. I think it is a pear. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so the last one is la 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 la. You're good with finances. No. I put a lot of effort into it. I don't think that I'm naturally good with finances. I think because I wasn't really taught about that. Prior to me moving and getting divorced, I made a significant amount more money. It's funny, the more money I have, the better I am with money, if that even makes sense. But I have been putting an effort in to try to get, like, my head around all the finances and, you know, like getting life insurance and whole life policies and getting my 401k together and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm not naturally good with finances because no one ever taught me about that. I've learned lessons and you know, I've been in I grew up poor. You know, I grew up poor, but I've been in situations where I drove a Range Rover, and I've been in a situation where I drove like a 1990s Camry, you know, just a few years ago. So, like, for me, it's something I had to put an effort into, and I'm okay putting that effort into it. And I'm learning and growing, and things are getting much better than they were for me many years ago. But I am not naturally good with finances. I'm a romantic at heart, but you follow with your head first now. I think it's a struggle. I'm definitely a romantic. I'd say I probably do follow with my head first now, because I know at this point in my life, I know what's okay for me, what's not okay for me. I know what I can accept, what I don't accept. And so I don't try to entertain things when I know already, like, that this is who I am. And if it's not a situation I'm willing to change, I'm okay with saying, like, this just, whether it's a friendship or not, like, this relationship just isn't something I can do. And I'm okay with that. You're not nearly as concerned with your race as others have been. 100%. I never thought about it more. Like, I'm not saying I never thought about it, but it's been an issue for me more in the last few years. An issue with worrying about it or having conversations about it. Like I said, my race has always been a situation because of how I was raised, in the environment I was raised in, but it wasn't talked about. It wasn't like an open dialogue. Now it's like everybody thinks they can say whatever they want, or they can make any accusation they want, which again, I feel is so goofy. So I've thought about it more lately because I've had to, but I'm kind of just like, I'm just here. Okay. I've always been a glam girl. Actually, no. I actually did not start wearing makeup until I was in my mid-30s. I didn't wear any makeup at all. So I've always been like, I've always loved glitter. Now listen to me. I'll spray some glitter. I'll spray some glitter on her, me, you. I've always been into, like, glitter and sparkle in terms of, like, accessories and things. But in terms of, like, wearing makeup or, you know, doing all this, no, this happened later in my life, actually. So that is what I have for you. I have a very limited number of expensive wigs, like Aesthetica, a lot of Paula Young. I haven't tried Paula Young at all. I have heard people saying that Paula Young's, what's the word? Their quality has been deteriorating, but I've never tried any of them. I love Aesthetica. One of my favorite wigs is from Aesthetica. That's Aesthetica's Ocean. I want Ocean in that Ice Mocha so bad. I had her in Ice Mocha, but it was like an exchange with another wig sister, and so I had to give her back. And I wanted her so bad. I've actually ordered Aesthetica's Ocean in Ice Mocha 3 times, and every single time it gets canceled because it's like on back order, or it's not, like it's gotten canceled every single time. So I feel like I want her so bad, but like the universe doesn't want me to have her. Anyway. Oh, that's awesome, Shelly. Yeah, I always like to explore. Well, I mean, obviously this is what I do this, but I think it's fun to explore because, you know, we don't know what we don't know. So there are some really amazing wig companies in the name brand wig realm, in the affordable wig realm, that people just wouldn't necessarily know. And you're not going to buy like 4,500 wigs. I know. I can't stop with this Rachel. Like, hello, hello, hello. I think, like, I don't know. I love her. She's so cute. I feel like I want to get her in more colors, which is ridiculous because I have her in 3 colors. So, okay, that is what I have for the assumptions. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be going live again on Friday, and we're going to try to repair some wigs that have issues. I am going to add putting on wigs and talking about ghosts onto the schedule for lives. I'll probably go live 2 times next week too. And after the 17th, I'm off work for the rest of the year, so I might do it even more. We'll see. If you have some suggestions for lives, go ahead and you can put that in the comment. Please consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed. I love to have you as my doll baby. I have if you would like to become a channel member, when you go onto my channel, you can join my channel. I think it's like $1.99. You will get additional content. For those who are already channel members, like I said, I'll be putting some more videos up for you this weekend or before, so look for those. And what time on Friday? 4 o'clock. It'll be at 4 o'clock. So maybe you can tune in for a little bit and then watch the rest on the playback. But yeah, that wigs that are marketed for people of color are superior in your opinion. I'm actually going to be doing a video on that topic, so I'm going to keep my opinions. I am going to be doing a video on name brand wigs versus affordable wigs. What are the differences? Why are they different? What you could be looking for, pros and cons. So I've been doing a lot of research on that. That will be coming in the new year. So I am going to do a video on that. Yes, I hope to see you on Friday too. Okay, that's what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the channel members, new channel members. Thank you, May, for your, I think it's a super sticker. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys on Friday. I'll go back into this live and put timestamps in and all that. And don't forget about winter wig coaching. I have a upload every single day until December 31st. Just letting you know right now, January 2020 is on fire. I'm telling you right that. If you know anything about me, you know I do a lot of collabs, especially in the beginning of the year, and I have some stuff that is planned for you that is, I can't even wait. I'm so excited. So I hope you have a great night. I'll see you on Friday, and yeah, thank you for being here, and have a good night, everybody. I'm gonna go play around with Rachel. Bye, Tracy. Bye, Maxie. Bye, Maeve. Bye, Shelly. Bye, Alexis. Bye, Teresa. Bye, everybody. I feel like I missed a couple people. Bye, Jen. I'll see ya. I think that might happen, Maeve. I think that might happen. I'll keep you updated on that. There's something in the works about that, Maeve. I'll tell you that. Bye, everybody.